And we're back with more of the tournament games, this time from the matches yesterday in the Spearhead 2 tournament. I was not able to cast them yesterday, and I will unfortunately be able to cast the ones tonight. Mostly because I'm going to be playing World of Warcraft tonight with my guild, but that's not what you're here for. Let's go through the players. On the Allied side, we have Smasslejuice as the USF, and SaltyNoobs as Rifle Division for the Soviet Union. That's a really interesting combination. On the Axis side, we have Eugen as Panzer Division for the Wehrmacht, and Professor as Sturm Tactics for the Waffen-SS. Let's see how this tournament map goes. Is gonna do. This is on Minsk Pocket, I believe. A very forest-heavy map. I already know my behavior about Soviets and Western allies together, but that's not gonna be an issue in the tournament, obviously. I'm just gonna try and ignore it. No commander choice from the USF. Need to see what happens. Looks like the Wehrmacht is digging sandbags across the front line. We have Volksgrenadiers and actual Grenadiers coming out. What do you actually get? Oh, you get Panzerschrecks? Okay, you get Panzerschrecks if you are playing as Panzer Division for the Volksgrenadiers. That's quite the upgrade. Like, holy shit. And of course, for the Sturm sides, we have Wallonians. Was anyone really thinking that would not be the case? They're actually getting killed up trying to get up here. So good on these sappers and the conscripts. Molotov going into the Sturm Pioneers. Oh, I'm right on him. That's a dead Sturm Pioneer. Good job to SaltyNoobs right there. Now we have a commander choice. It's gonna be US Armored. Okay. Now Fontoviki for the Rifle Division. I think it is SVTs, which is actually a pretty good upgrade, I think. And I even think... What do the conscripts get? They get repair? They get building repair, I think. So that is an interesting one too. Or they might also get the SVT. I don't know, I haven't played Soviet Rifle in a long time. Looks like the Riflemen are having a long engagement against the Grenadiers. Somehow they've actually gotten their first few shots in. Guess the Grenadiers had to pull back, as we can see by their crawling comrade here. Some of the Americans are being very aggressive, as you would expect of them. They might be planning to throw pineapple up here. Yep, pineapple going in. Pineapple going in. I think the Germans have to get out of there.
We are losing a sector.
Now the Grenadiers coming up though to replace the losses. If they went territory, they could actually get rifle grenades. They could get pineapples on their rifle grenades. Pretty good upgrade. The sheer amount of American rifles might be too much here. You do have a rifle coming in for the Germans. If it would fire. Sometimes it bucks out, which is a real big pain. Yeah, I'm not sure why it doesn't fire sometimes. It's a really big issue. Yeah, Germans have to pull back. Mthis is being overrun here by conscripts, and even a tank hunter team has been prepared, which took out the Kugelwagen early. I guess the Soviet is being very aggressive here with their rifle tactics. The Rifle Division is actually also a really good one, well, Rifle Commander, for the Soviets, because they just get more manpower income, and they just get cheap stuff. Like, if they get to 2 command points, their conscripts cost gets reduced by 20 manpower, which can be a pretty big deal in the long run. Soviets already overrunning the Wallonian position, so that's a clear sign. Yeah, these are some dead Wallonians, I think. Well, an attempt by the SS, but not gonna be enough, and the Wehrmacht is gonna have to start digging in. Just like MP4s have been on the use of Volksgrenadiers to try and hold the line here if the Americans push up. Meanwhile, the Grenadiers are taking up position around the fuel here. The big advantage is the fuel is easy to control if you control the sides, at least. The Russians have snatched the Kugelwagen and are repairing it. So I think we can expect the Soviets to be a lot more aggressive shortly. The Germans have lost a lot of territory, and MG42 is coming out here to hold the center. After this, is setting up the tech. Makes sense. Getting their Hauptquartier of the Infanterie. MG42 is going to make it very hard to have infantry in the center. Americans are pushing in the flank. They have set up a 30 cal though. It's going to be very hard for the Germans to retake this position, I think. Medics being prepared by the USF. Wonder what for? Probably to get a medic station back in the base. Just checking if I am recording, and I indeed am. Valorians are being armed with the MP34, but it's only down to those 2 units. Oh, that's not a lot. The MP34 is actually a surprisingly accurate weapon on the move. So you can actually, that's why it's probably available to these guys as assault infantry. Bosco just had to pull back. If the Americans actually snatch this point now, the Germans would get no fuel. But I don't think they are going to take the risk. They don't know that there's no Germans there to hold it. We have an Untersturmführer coming out for the Sturm Division. Or well, Sturm Tactics for the Waffen-SS. Good little combat officer. He's buffing the troops here by having ordered at Deutschland über alles. No, not at Deutschland über alles, just to the front. Barbed wire has been prepared by the Soviets. MP34 is already showing themselves though. Molotov tried to be in the way here. Double Molotov, but looks like it so far fails. And the Soviets are doing a full retreat here. What does the Idealism actually do? Weapon 50% faster weapon cooldown. That's actually not bad. Okay. That's a pretty good buff from that Untersturmführer. Looks like a Maxim has been set up for ambush though. Having been ordered to hold fire, so he's gonna wait until they're out in the open before he opens fire, I believe. You have a lieutenant here for the Panzer Division, so that would actually just means it's a guy and 2 tank crew members at the moment.
Yes. Enemy infantry.
And the Maxim's gonna open fire on these guys, I believe. Yep, there we go. It's a good play there from the Soviets. And since the Valonians have no smoke grenades, they cannot cover their retreat.
Forward elements report an infantry unit lost.
Pioneers were trying to sneak up through the flank, but the Soviets prepared barbed wire fields. That's a unique thing to the Soviets, I believe, that actually forces infantry to crawl and slow them down. Rather than directly blocking terrain, it'll just make it very difficult to cross. Very cheeky thing from the Soviet Union there. Germans are doing the best here. Yeah, seeing an MG42 coming out for the Waffen-SS. SDGs being armed on these Wallonians. They need to get behind that cover because the Soviets are gonna be hitting them shortly. Maxim summoning fire in the cover. MG42 still holding the center here. We have a command. The command Lux called in, so I guess he recalled his lieutenant to then call in the command Lux. A very good command tank early on. That's very good for anti-infantry duty, actually. MG42 coming up here for the Waffen-SS. Needs to get into a good position because the Soviets are preparing to probably assault. He's also armed the Sabbaths with SVTs, which I believe is the unique upgrade the Soviet Union gets access to when they're playing as the Rifle Division. And while the Lux has forced up to push it, they did not do much. Well, they killed a lot of the German infantry, so I should probably not say didn't do much. I meant more didn't do much against the Lux, rather. Third infantry has also been armed with a bazooka, but they got killed there. I mean, there's nothing left here to deal with the Lux. The Lux is just gonna drive. It's just gonna drive on the vertical. Okay, that's weird. He needs to stand still to be accurate. German tanks do not have stabilizers on the move. MG42 setting up right without any cover. Probably not wise.
The enemy has driven a wedge in our lines. Taking fire! Taking effective fire! Men are focused on training.
The Germans are very low on territory right now, but they could make a comeback. We also see the 15 Panzer Grenadiers are going to get prepared. Really good infantry unit available to the Panzer Division. More Wallonians are being prepared. It's always just Wallonians for Sturm, isn't it? Like, why not get the Panzer Grenadiers associated with them? I get the second Panzer Division Panzer Grenadiers. Those guys are pretty good. Sturm guys are pushing up, but out in the open against SVTs here. Getting some losses as they try to come up. Egg grenade going in. Almost killing the Russian lieutenant. But the SVT gunner is still doing good job killing the squad. Wow. Germans are suffering heavy casualties here. T-34 coming out for the Soviets though. And massive German infantry push, Grenadiers and Panzer Grenadiers on the fields. Americans have gotten a command steward. This seems like an actual good fight today.
Advanced vehicle crew tactics now in effect. All units to adjust.
Germans are making a very good comeback, I'll say. Pack being prepared by the Sturm, they're probably anticipating the T-34. The Kuppelwagen is still doing a little bit of an issue. Stuart is dealing with the command looks. The command looks needs to pull back, I think, but it is getting penetration on the Stuart. But there it goes.
Command tanks are now available.
Is he going to recruit? He is. Stuart's going to go in for the kill, though.
We need orders.
T-34 is pushing through the center. Panzer F1 being prepared. Soviet AT guns being utilized as artillery, always a good usage of them. Panzer Grenadiers are in trouble. Looks it's not at a good angle here. But it's just not penetrating. Yeah, got a good shot there. I think the Americans got to flank it and throw down Composite B. There we go, Composite B on it. And that's a dead Lux.
Our Panzer forces have been reduced by 1.
Germans are still... Sturm tactics is still taking a lot of losses. And the 42 in center will try to hold the ground a bit, but the T-34 could break through here if the pack doesn't do a good job. Panzer F1 in the field here. Malonians with their Sturm Gewehr are doing a good job here, but now they're getting suppressed by the DPM. Lieutenant is back on the fields. More concepts rushing to the front. MP-34 armed Wallonians here, gonna cut down the Lieutenant out in the open. Or Lieutenant rather. Oh, good shot there from the Sis.
Armor ready.
Command Steward and also Command Sherman is on the field.
Crew ready.
It obviously American armor gets all its officers and vehicles if you didn't realize. The Panzer Lieutenant without any actual vehicle coming out here. T-34 moving up to the northern front. Mthis is lacking any good AT at the moment. And the Untersturmführer has no AT options.
Infantry group lost.
But Psych, how far here command, so that's like vehicle command, so that's for light vehicles. And so F1 is rushing. There's a commissar in the field, but I don't think he'll do much. High explosive being called in here. A good attempt there with the heat shot, but it missed. Man Sherman opening fire here with an artillery strike.
Ready. Go
Using
ahead.
105. The basic American howitzers, I understand. Or well, the most utilized one. Germans are still holding their ground, they just don't have any munitions points. Which is gonna be a big deal.
Ready to deploy. Officer has reported for duty.
Hauptsturmführer coming out here with the Sturmpistole. A unique little grenade launcher type pistol. Unique to the Hauptsturmführer for Sturm Tactics.
You need something?
What buff does he give actually? Cemetery. More accuracy, okay. High explosive coming out for the F1. Missed. American infantry's gonna try and get up a composite B, but I don't think it's gonna work. Yeah, they're getting turned to shreds. You also have another command Sherman, so the American has all his commanders already out, or field officers rather, arriving in a 76mm, so much more heftier gun. Yeah, the Allies are definitely being much more aggressive today. More artillery coming in here. That's the power of the SIS-3, that it can be utilized as an artillery piece. Panzerfaust going in though, destroy the T-34. Heavy, oh, that's a mortar barrage being called in. Looks like it was from the Hauptsturmführer. You also have stormtroopers here armed entirely with Sturmgewehrs. That makes them an exceptionally lethal squad in most ranges. Sherman and Stewart is pushing through the center here. F1 is firing a heat through the woods. Got a good shot there on the command Sherman, but it can pull back and repair. It's like sector barrage and been called in by the major, I think. Yeah, sector artillery. Stormtroopers are only in light cover, but they're still doing a pretty good job despite that. I think the German position is in big peril. F1 is going to be very brave here. Gonna have to pull back. Oh, it's going to get flanked soon. But the Sherman is having a hard time hitting for some reason. There it goes. But Mthis is now able to push up somewhat. Oh, high explosive and this is free, wow. Heavy mortar for the Soviets. But all the MP-34s are being very powerful at the moment, actually. That's a lot of constant firepower. But the Americans have secured the German fuel. Threatening their German position overall. The Germans on this flank can risk being cut off. Well, mostly Germans. It's mostly, actually, alt-right Belgians. But they're killing a lot of Soviets. Oh, good job with the heavy mortar there, though. But the Soviets have lost practically all their infantry. They only have one Frontoviki and the heavy mortar. That's not good for them. Heavy mortar has to pull back, I think. Stuka going in on the fuel here to deny to the Allies. Command Stuk coming in. Commissar's been infiltrated on the flank here. But the MP-34's just cut him down.
More of our troops have been lost.
Americans will flank though. And that's probably the end of those, yeah, that's the end of those Wallonians. Stormtroopers are still alive though, and still equipped with STGs. Oh, Commander just drove up to die. That's not good. Heads are being called in. A Flampanzer hits actually. So this is a Hetzer with a flamethrower on it, basically. Quite unique weapon, in all honesty. Replacing the gun with just a giant flamethrower. I would probably say it's a very dangerous weapon to be inside, but it can actually pay off if you can get a good flank on infantry positions with it. It is obviously not a good choice against enemy tanks, though. But there's not a lot of tanks in this flank. However, the Shermans could easily relocate. But Stormtroopers supporting the Flampanzer? That's going to be a very potent anti-infantry force. Hans good ideas for securing the center here with the help of a Blink Hopper. Yeah, so it's immediately retreating after seeing the Flamhetzer. Stuka going in? Yeah, that's a Stuka dive bomb. That's going to disable the point. Sherman A2 arriving. Looks like he's got the Thunder Run upgrade from the this one, which allows his Shermans to just toggle between high explosives, which can make them exceptionally good at anti-infantry duty and breakthrough. Option fear being killed. But there's little here to stop a Flamhetzer. Good attempt there with the Molotov. It's gonna open up for an AT grade, but the flamethrower is just burning up the Russians. They're gonna throw another AT bomb. Did not do anything. Maybe artillery going in here. Probably being called in by the Americans. Yeah, it looks like it.
Capture point is being overrun.
But the Flamhetzer and the Stormtroopers are gonna start pushing up aggressively. I think the American tanks might have to relocate to support their Soviet ally. Well, it seems the Germans, the Americans are just gonna push through for the center here again. And the German Panzer Division is just lacking resources at the moment. Soviets are getting a KV-1 though, which I don't think the Flampanzer can do anything against. And KVD troops arriving, unique battle group available to the rifle corps. Oh, good shot there, flank from the Sherman. Malonians killing off a Fontavika right there. Oh, so persistent being entirely overrun. But the Americans are moving into encircle now. And Germans are lacking their munitions to use Panzerfausts. So this Valorian is gonna die. He's gonna try and get an egg grenade off though. Yeah, high explosive now on the A2 here. That's just gonna chew through the German infantry. And the KV-1 is on the fields. A second KV-1 being prepared, so I don't think the Germans are going to be able to stop KV-1s. KV-1 is an exceptionally potent Soviet heavy tank, however it does lack a good gun. It's using the same gun as the T-34, I believe. Although I may be wrong on that, because it looks like it has a longer barrel. Which should technically indicate it might have higher velocity, but I'm not really an expert on that. After this, trying to tech up though for tanks, but I think it's a little too late. That one's doing the same. Because I think the Allies have the means to push in. They just need to utilize it. And the KV-1s is moving up to position, loading a frag round, and that's gonna kill them. Taunts his threats by fragmentation.
Reserves of manpower stand ready to be used. Listen up, men.
Yeah, now the Allies are just gonna go for the German base. Pack is gonna do a good attempt here. It has been loaded with APCR. Smoke round going in, but engine started burning because it used the displace ability, which can actually cause heavy tanks' engine to burst. So you should only use that with care. Heavy artillery destroying the German base though. Panzer IV in the fields, mobilized.
One of our forward structures has been destroyed. Completed. Standing by.
Good shot, they're actually killing the Mages German. I don't think it's gonna help. Germans are still opening fire. Command Steward goes down too, actually.
Let's get it. Ready, set, locked and loaded.
A2 is trying to get shots in the area. Was it trying to destroy the Rex? I'm not sure. But the KV-1s are being prepared to move. You can hear the engines. A2's down. Wow, this Panzer IV is actually doing a good job. His little position right here. There it goes though. Shot from the stolen Pak 40. Major moving up with his man crew. KV-1s are gonna be prepared to move. We're also seeing the Großdeutschland here. Another unique unit available to Panzer Division. You can only have one of them at a time. Very elite infantry, I believe. Actually, experienced recon infantry. High explosive on the Pak did not hit. Pak got a penetration, but you see, they actually did not do that much damage. Because the KV-1 is very heavily armored. One flasher going in though. That's gonna start stunning it. Good shot there from the Pak. Mthis is trying to make a little bit of territory come back on this flank, but I don't think it's gonna do much. EC8's arriving for the Americans. Probably the best Sherman in the game. Good armor, good speed, good fast reloading gun. Overall, it's the pinnacle of the Sherman. Overall, it's probably one of the best tanks in the game. KV-1's being prepared, and the third KV-1. That's another KV-1 right here. Most of the Americans gonna push in. Command 76 and the EC8s might push in together.
That's an AT, goddammit! Ready. Go ahead.
They need to fire high explosive in that area. You know it's there, so they attack grounding. Yeah, you can see the rate of fire in the EC8. It's kinda fast. And also, the more units are near it, they get this radio net upgrade, but it means they just fire faster anyway, because the tanks are coordinating or something. It's a very neat thing that all the tanks with radios get. Canister shot going in. Yeah, there's just too much fire going on in the German base right now. Explosive there, did not hit. And Allies are pushing in for the kill. I don't see the Germans making a comeback now. It's over.
Command structure is under attack.
Bullstars and down to a grenade out the hatch. And there they go. The Germans surrender. I hope you enjoyed this match of the tournament from yesterday. And you'll see the next one shortly.